RealTalks, episode 4. I'm Defy from 7-8. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you've been enjoying the series so far. If you haven't checked them out, whichever way they are, go check them out. I'm sure there'll be a link in the description, or there'll be a little box up here. When this is on the 7-8 channel, this will be happening. On the Defy Dubs channel, because it's run by me, I'm not really a digital person, so you probably won't be seeing any fancy stuff, but hey ho, let's get on with the video. So today we're going to follow on from yesterday's video a little bit, talking about the magnetic fields and carrying on with the Venus flytrap as mentioned before. So we learned in the last lesson that every living thing, everything that has an electrical signature has a magnetic field. Now, as I mentioned yesterday or last episode, we've actually discovered that the Venus flytrap has a magnetic field. It uses electrical signals and produces a magnetic field, which is incredible knowledge to know. Incredible knowledge, which makes sense though, because when you think of different experiments that have been done on the optimal growth of plants as well, the optimal environment, it makes sense. When you think of an experiment such as the plant that was grown listening to rock music versus listening to classical music, or the plant that was grown while someone was like shouting abuse at it, versus a plant that was given love and good attention. It's obvious, like the plant that was shouted at gets, like, it still grows, but it's gnarly, it's decrepit, it's not growing properly, or it's just not growing at all, or it's really stubby, it just doesn't work. Whereas the one that was showered in love and attention and good thoughts and healing energy, it would grow and flourish really well. So I hope we can transfer that a little bit into the people side of it, but that's our own doing. But essentially what they found, or what they were looking for in the Venus flytrap experiment, was how it produced these things. But before I get into that, a little interesting fact: they found it to be a 0.4 pictotesla. Now, a tesla is a unit of measurement used to measure the gravitational field, or the gravitational flux of a field. Obviously named after the old Nikola Tesla. Good guy. But the Tesla is the big unit. The pictotesla is the smaller unit. So the Tesla is what we use to measure our Earth's gravitational pull. Pictotesla is, a lot smaller. And they found that actually the Venus flytrap produced the same or similar amounts of pictotesla as an animal response mechanism, or like a idiomotor response, such as like the patella test. So if a doctor hits your knee, boom, your leg's gonna at least rock. Or if you put your hand on some hots, your hand's gonna move away. That's an idiomotor response. That's So so what do they find? What do they find in the Venus flytrap? How does it do it? How does it move? How does it have the same pictotesla as things that happen in our body? It's a weird one. So one of the ways that the Venus flytrap moves is probably the obvious way that it's got the thing. It's got little fibers going everywhere, something lands on it, hits the fibers, it sends kinetic energy through, close. That's one way. Another way is heat transfer. So it gets hotter. Same sort of thing. It heats up the electrodes. You know, it makes it move. Another way, this is the interesting way, is a process called osmosis. Osmosis, OSMOSIS, osmosis. Now, this is a really interesting concept actually, because we've used this in our everyday, well, not everyday life, but we could be using it in our everyday life very soon. There's a organization called Statkraft. Let me just, yeah, Statkraft in Norway. They've built the first osmotic power plant. Spent like $18 billion or something like this to construct it, which sounds a lot, but it's not a lot in terms of the Earth's capabilities, not at all. So essentially, what happens here is mimicking the Venus flytrap through osmosis. So essentially, what osmosis is, it's easily explained using the power plant. So you've got two massive containers. One has fresh water, one has seawater. They've got massive tunnels leading to these big containers, and the seawater has a lot of salt in it. It's really salty. Fresh water is fresh. It's just water basically. Now they have a thin membrane going through the middle. I'm not sure made of what. I'll do some further research, or do some research for yourself. Thin membrane separating them, and the salt in the seawater pulls the other water through the membrane into the other container. Now, all the extra water, what happens? There's more pressure, obviously. Boom, 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 expands. Now, this box has a lot of pressure. And with a lot of pressure becomes heat. Friction, heat. Now, this heat, some of it's lost, some of it's back at the top of the container, some of it's into the ground, but this heat is used, it's transferred, it's filtered away into a turbine. This turbine turns, and that produces electricity. It's like the reverse of what our body does. Like the signals sent through the brain, the ideomotor, like, you know, the body does stuff. Whereas they're going backwards. They're taking the motion process of that salt, that osmosis, getting the energy from that and taking it back to the brain, back to somewhere that can, you know, differentiate the energies and, what's the word, like filter through what has what, give it back to the turbine, create that energy, that pure electric energy, and that can be used to power whatever. Literally. So I hope they do start building a lot more of them. We need the renewable energies. We need them. It just makes sense. I'm not against like using what we have, like the cars, the energy, but we just need to just utilize what we have. And I believe the osmosis power plant will be one of them, at least. What do you think? Let us know. There'll be a comment box. Yeah, this has been Defy. Tune in to Real Talks again. See you on the next one.